Happy Friday, everybody. We're continuing with our Staglin Virtual Fridays. And we are standing here with Lindsay Dale, our amazing estate manager. She's been with us for a little over 6 years, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about the Stechter house.
Thanks, Amber. So this is the Stechter house. It is named the Stechter house because John and Mary Stechter were the original owners of this homestead and this property. This is utilized currently for our hospitality offices and where we host clients for private tasting experiences. And John and Mary came from different areas. John came from Pennsylvania via wagon train and came out here to look for more fertile land, whereas Mary Harris, before they were married, she came from Missouri, rode via horseback with her family's wagon train. They met a few years later, purchased this estate, and bought it for $34 an acre, 367 acres.
Wow.
I know, a little more expensive now. And their estate went from here all the way to Highway 29 and then north to Nebaum Lane. So for those of you who've been out here before, kitty corner to Rutherford Grill is a little schoolhouse, which back in the 1800s was donated by the Stechters to the county for education. Also happens to be where Shannon Staglin's 2 kids go to school. John and Mary Stechter raised 6 beautiful children in this home, 4 daughters, 2 sons. They all helped farm this land. They had wheat, hay, raised cattle, and also had 60 acres of vines planted. Amazingly, not to Cabernet, but to Riesling and Zinfandel. Eventually, in 1904, they sold this estate, and amazingly, Mary Stechter lived to be 103 years old. So after the Stechters sold this estate in the early 1900s, went through many different ownerships. The 367 acres were parceled, sold to different people and families. One more interesting than others. He was a gold and oil tycoon who made all of his money in Alaska while on the run from the law in Texas. We also then went through Prohibition, so the entire 60 acres of vines that the Stechters had planted here were torn out, planted to plum trees for a prune orchard. Eventually, in 1963, the Sullivan family discovered this property, still planted to plum trees, and realized it could produce great Cabernet. So they bought this property, already had a home, so had no need for the Stechter house. So they parceled off this piece of the property and sold it, and then used that money to plant the surrounding acreage here.
Which is what?
Cabernet.
Perfect.
Prior to the Staglin family purchasing this estate, the vineyard was planted to Cabernet Sauvignon vines used primarily for Beaulieu Vineyards, George de Latour Private Reserve Cabernet, being produced by the legendary Andrei Tchelistcheff. When eventually the Staglins bought the property in 1985, we did not buy the Stechter house. It was actually owned by and lived in by other people, another family, and it wasn't until 2007 that we bought this house back, reuniting the property back together again in completion.